Hi there, welcome to the Call Semi. It is hotter than it was yesterday. I am exhausted because my power went out last night, and thankfully, I have my co-host here because if I didn't, I think I'd probably fall asleep. Welcome.
Hey, how are you? Luckily for you guys, I'm wide awake, but I've got a excruciating pain in this arm. For some
Oh, what
reason, I
happened?
woke up and every time I walk or move, it's like somebody's stabbing me in the area.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's very painful.
so is it like a muscle
I
thing,
think
or
so. I think so because it goes all the way down, the pain, when I move. But I've taken some Tylenol and some other stuff, and it's helping a little bit.
so there you go, guys. You have to be nice to us today because Malcolm's in pain, and I'm in heat. That sounds wrong,
Oh, and
but
hey, hey.
I'm always in heat. Uh, I've even got the red shirt for today. Are you excited about today?
I am, because I want to see what the slips are going to be. It could be anything. There's quite a lot still left on the site, so I'm hoping for some of the lower tier stuff because I haven't bought that. Like the lamp and the bird's toe. I know most people probably don't want either of them, but I need them to complete my collection of the slip, of recent slips. What would you like to say?
a, $1 million lottery win. But aside from that, uh, I'm not quite sure yet. Actually, well, look, but let's actually do what we should do here at the beginning of everyone. There's an hour left to the
Yep,
sale. Let's give our final recommendations on the box set.
sure.
So the has have 8 sets. I'm not gonna lie, that's painfully low for a sale amount to do like
Yeah.
but at 8 sets. I'm not. That is definitely painfully, painfully low. That being said, if you were to recommend, I don't know, 3 sets right now from this here collection, what would you go with?
I would probably say at number one, I'd say the Doris Wishman set because I fully finished that set, really enjoyed it. I do believe it's better than the Midnight set, Midnight Years, as I said yesterday when asked about it. I would recommend the Jolly set because that's got some great films in it. Sister Ursula's in that, and that alone is brilliant. And I'd probably recommend Six String Samurai because I really
Good
enjoyed it.
film.
It's got great music, it's got great cinematography, and it has a lot of fun to it. But you have to be in a certain mood to really enjoy it because of the cheesiness in it, I believe.
Well, see, I thought we'd maybe cross over, but luckily we're not going to cross over much. So I am going to recommend this. I'm not going to recommend Six. Not that it's not a good movie. Just uh, if it was on the $18 4Ks, I would
Yeah,
probably recommend it. But for this set right here, for these sets right here, just like I mentioned before, we'll go by quality to cost ratio.
yeah,
Then there's the Doris Wishman set, which I 100% agree with you on because one, just on the Chesty Morgans alone, that's a lot of Chesty Morgan, man.
oh yeah,
We got commentaries on here, including one with Frank Henenlotter, who's known for doing excellent commentaries. We got featurettes on here. So 3 to set. It's magnetic. You can stick it to your fridge and be much prouder than the other magnetic
yep,
set on this list. I'd say in number 2, but it is going to be the Camille Keaton in Italy set. I think
yeah,
that has gotten an extremely uh, like negative like feedback
yeah.
on undeservedly so on the Facebook page, and that's been a
Fine.
bit of a sticking point for me. So I like to stick up for the little guys, and this one has some really decent films, including one that's directed by Ricardo Frida. So and some of the best commentaries that you can get on this
Yeah,
stuff.
I need to watch. I need to watch them to be fair. So that's probably why I didn't recommend it because I haven't seen them.
I would normally put, without a shadow of a doubt, the Forgotten Jelly set here, and I might still do that, considering like it is about a third of the price. So I'm gonna put the Forgotten Jelly if I enforce it there. If you like your jelly to be like interesting and sleazy, well, this is the set for you. If you got some extra bones to throw away, televised tear set.
I
It's out.
I will say the Arabella movie in the Full Art Jelly set is very different to most other jellies. Um, and it really makes the movie a lot more interesting because you don't know what's going to happen because it's so like unpredictable, and I like that because some jellies you put them on, you're like, okay, it's going to do the same formula as the other ones that I've watched. So I do recommend that. Yeah.
And the girl's super hot too, so
Oh yeah.
she's
She gets
really
naked a
cute.
lot too.
Oh yeah, like she gets like any scene they can get her naked in, she is naked in. And I'm not gonna lie, she is super, super attractive.
Yes.
And if that movie had been her reading the phone book for 2 hours, I still would be recommending it because oh my god, she's insanely attractive.
Well, if she was reading it with the other lips, we'd be happy.
We have how many? We got like $14 like Blu-ray with slips today. I
Yeah.
don't know why they don't just say limited edition. That would seem to
Yeah, it
me that
makes sense.
sounds a lot more sexy.
Yeah, and I believe there'll be 10 because there was last time, weren't there?
Yeah. So this is
So
like it's like the 10 for 10 sale, but they're $4 more.
yeah, which is a bit
So
cheeky, really, but
let's try and choose some titles from the limited editions here that we think will actually
all right,
be.
let's do it.
So obviously none of this new stuff here.
Psycho Sisters is going to be one, obviously,
Didn't they just come?
and
Yeah.
Goro will be in the 18 one.
Oh, for sure. Uh, so there's no VSAs today, like as far as we know.
No.
I gotta say, this is the quietest chat we've had in a while.
Hmm.
You guys are super quiet tonight. But there's a possibility Evil laugh. Hey,
Oh
there's
yeah,
George. Welcome out.
because that wasn't highly rated by Phil, was it? I really like the ending of that. I think it's really cool.
I'm one of the people that didn't highly rate it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought like it's a slasher film, but
Yeah,
it's on very much the lower end of the spectrum of the slasher films. But you collect them if you're collecting all the slashers.
yeah.
So looks like Q got the Keaton, Cardona, Macri, and Zombie comic collection today. I will, I will,
Nice.
I will forgive you for the Cardona one. Want to wait till Friday to buy again, but we'll be tuning in to see what the offer. See if anything actually tempts you.
Let me put
But listen, Planet Mondo, don't worry. We'll talk descriptively, so you don't have to worry about missing out on any picture stuff. Look at those boobs. No, just kidding, Mondo. There's nothing. You're safe. I would say that we're going to be looking at the next page before we're going to see anything. There's a
believe so.
maybe something like Buried Alive, Birds 2, which I know is one that you're looking forward to.
Yep. I'm hoping, I reckon they'll also put maybe Shriek of the Mutilated in.
Isn't that 4K? Doesn't that? Oh no, it's not. Is it?
No, that's not
That'd be
4K.
nice if it. Oh God, I love this movie. For like
'Cause I watched
anybody
it
that knows my channel
Yeah.
knows this is one of my favorites, and you know why, right? The toaster scene.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't love the toaster scene? Like he beats his wife, like goes like she's dead basically, because he's drunk. Gets in the bathtub. She with her soon to be dead body. She crawls across the floor, pushing a toaster alongside her to eventually throw it in the bathtub and like electrocute him, deservedly. That being said, that has really nothing to do with anything else in the film. But hey,
No,
it's a great scene.
no. I love, when I showed my wife the movie, she said that Yeti doesn't look real. And I said to her, I said, oh, it's probably the low budget. Well,
Ah,
obviously, you find out the twists and turns, later on in the movie.
yeah,
So I don't
with
want
the
to spoil it,
famous line
obviously.
that I won't say because I don't want to give it away to anybody. But there's a line that I say, and you know what the line is. I'll tell you basically because when the guy comes into the cabin at the end of the film, and he says that line, it's a line that me and my better half and my oldest randomly say to each other when we're in a room together.
Oh, nice.
Sadly, if you've been a subscriber for a number of years, these sales don't really deliver anything new.
That's
That's the
true.
thing. I think it's more about getting the people that are just becoming subscribers, and hope that people that have been subscribers for a while can find something amongst it.
Yeah.
But I'd say a lot of this is for like one, it's a subscriber week, so they're trying to get people to subscribe for the first time, and they're making this sale saying, okay, you're subscribing, and obviously you're 50% off work for things coming up, but not things in the past. Here's a
Yeah.
sale, so you can kind of pad out your collection, like really kind of catch up.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing because I'd rather they had sales where people could buy them than not buy them, obviously. But I do think sometimes it takes away, like doing these sales, it kind of takes away from people that were, let's say, buying them when they first came out with, the discount, or by them doing the sales. Because I said to my wife, I said, if I wasn't a subscriber and I hadn't caught up on nearly every title, I probably would have next year not bothered with the half-face Black Friday sale and just waited until these to see what came up and get them.
True. It's because it's difficult. I mean, like you had 2 sales a year. You've added 2 more sales.
Yeah.
So unless they really start like mixing it up a bit,
Yeah.
we really don't know exactly where things are going to land. One thing I
Well,
would like to
there's
see come up is righting wrongs. By the way,
that would be nice. That'd be a good one. Iceman Cometh might as well.
righting wrongs is a more pricey one. So,
Yeah.
but it would be a nice one to shove in there because I think everybody would go for it.
I bought that and the 88 Films version because I like both the artworks.
Oh yeah, and this one got the documentary too.
Yeah.
Good old John Saxon.
Love John Saxon.
There's a whole bunch. As I'm going through, I'm realizing there's more 4K options than I initially
yeah.
thought it was going to be.
There's quite a few. It's just they're quite unmemorable. Not because they've been released a little while back, as we're getting quite a few being released over this, year.
Yeah, like right away, I'll recommend Terminal Island as a good 4K release and a really good film.
Yeah,
because that's one
With Tom
surprised the hell
Selleck.
out of me. Yeah, Tom Selleck and Roger Mosley, both before they were in like Magnum PI together.
Which is great because it's always good to see them before the big one.
Yeah, and like it is such a good, and it's not at all what I expected when I went in because I expected this sort of this kind of like more women's in prison film, which what wasn't. Like the Invisible Maniac slip. You got that, didn't you? Did you buy like that?
I did. I got it because I did the that mystery fig where he gave the $5. Hey, Darth Sidious. Glad you're here. I got that because I did the thing. I did it again this year. The $10 down. And
Do
I'm
you
also
think
go on.
we'll get something like trauma? Do you have trauma?
Oh, are you talking about the
Argento.
Dario Argento? Yeah, I've got that.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna say this right now. If trauma comes up, buy it. Not his best film,
No.
but it's a decent film. And we got Isaiah Argento. I think she's younger, Isaiah Argento in there.
I think it's 90s. It's 90s age. A lot better than when she was a lot younger. Put it that way.
Yeah, she still does that one kind of I guess topless scene, which is but in Europe it's different, right? Like but and it wasn't like a scene, like an exploitive scene. It wasn't like a sexy scene or anything like that. It was kind of.
It's a bit like the Natasha Kinski scene in what was that film with Christopher Lee?
Oh, To the Devil a Daughter.
Yeah, she was 14 when she did that nude scene.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was not. And the thing is, it's I guess body doubles can be used for stuff like that. But no, it was. Brad Dourif is really good in Trauma. Piper Laurie.
Yeah.
For the tiny part that she's in the film, is incredible.
I like the weapon as well, to be honest. I like the weapon how he kills the people.
Oh, the weapon's really neat. I'm actually surprised more people didn't get excited. I got really excited when they announced that film, and I felt
Yeah.
like I was the only person to get excited.
I remember watching it on a bad DVD and I liked it, but I didn't think it was brilliant. But I would say $14, like $10 before, pick it up.
Yeah,
You know, even for completionist's sake. You know.
because it does tend to be one of the more fun, and we don't. I'm hoping we get the Nothing Underneath, Too Beautiful to Die double feature show up this week. I
That'd be
think that's
nice.
one that people should not pass on if it's there.
If you like films that do like massive music videos in them, you'll love those films.
It's a fun one. I mean, like you got like because the neat thing is like my better half, she watches Giallos with me sometimes because she likes the genre, but
Yeah.
she's like also in more into like the fashion and stuff like that. So we're watching the first one. We'll say the one where the guy has a sister and they're
Yeah.
like twins, and they're getting to like the fashion show portion of it. And my better half is like, oh, that's how did they get that guy? That's a big fashion industry person. So I didn't know any of that stuff, but she sat down, and started watching it, and she was pointing out all the fashion stuff that was actually impressive that
Yeah.
they're able to get for what was pretty much a lower budget movie.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
That Master of the World cover has some nice art. Would you, either of you recommend it? Would you recommend Master of the World?
I've not really seen it other than the trailer, even though I own it. And I would say give it a go. You
I'm
know, if it
honestly
goes
going
on
to go
sale.
in the opposite direction. I'm going to say exactly what Andy said. Yes, it's extremely dull.
Oh dear.
It's not. It's
What
not.
film was it? Well, there's a film that came out this week that I've said yes. If you see the back cover of it, all right, it looks like you can literally see the woman's vulva on it. Because I was showing my wife the releases, and I went, look, if you zoom in there, it's like the vulva showing.
Is it Tarot Tenkiller? Would that be the one?
It might, no, because she's laying on the back of that one. What was the other one? It wasn't Goro, I know that, and it wasn't Psycho Sisters. It was the other one.
Gorgo, Psycho Sisters. What is the other one?
Is it?
No,
Is it the Delirium bag?
yeah,
Or
Delirium.
was it the VSA bag? It was one of them.
Since the VSA is Demon Rat, I'm going to go with Delirium. Now, Shallow Grave is one I'll recommend if it goes on sale.
Shallow Grave's a good one. Shallow Grave's definitely worth the time. Even though I do think it's a bit silly, the ending.
Let us talk about this. Are you surprised?
Well, but it's there.
Yeah, it's a peak.
I was actually really surprised it was there. But I think it's because it's more of a comedy, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's like I guess you could kind of cross it between maybe like an Alvin Purple type of thing and a Mondo. Kind of put that together.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the thing's in, and it's a terrible movie. So I wasted money.
Oh
dear.
Well, you have a nice slipcover, dude.
Yeah, that's always the case, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to say here's one I actually liked that I don't think a lot of people liked, and here's where I go against the consensus. I liked Tough Guys Don't Dance. It is.
That's one I need in the sale, actually.
Oh, really? I thought it was interesting. Like it's known obviously for that really bad like take in the film that Ron O'Neal does in the movie, but apparently that was done on the director. Kind of pissed off and left that in on purpose. But the film itself, it's directed by Norman Mailer, who's like a famous writer.
Yeah.
And it's an unusual film. But there's just something absolutely you kind of can't take your eyes off of the type of thing.
Yeah.
I won't say it's good. I won't say it's totally bad. But unlike Master of the World, it's interesting.
Yeah.
The Lamp is another one that you said you want.
Yep. I need to get that. I don't know if it's any good or not.
That's like Through the Fire. I had this during the sale. Well, I was a
Yeah.
subscriber. Still have not watched this movie. It might be fantastic. Maybe the best movie in the collection, but I just haven't seen it yet.
Rush Week, I thought, was a mixture of good and bad because you get lots of nudity, but you don't see any of the kills.
Oh, maybe. See, depending, that was around 90, right? Around the 90 era?
Yeah.
So a lot of times around mid to late 80s, early 90s was when they started to really crack down on film, especially slasher films. So you either had to put in your gore or put in your nudity or get an X rating, but you couldn't have both. And I think like the first real big example of that is Friday the 13th Part 5, like A New Beginning.
Yeah.
Because the guy, Danny Stein, like, rest in peace, super sleazy dude that you are, was like, he was off. Yeah, I had the chance to, okay, we can put more violence in, or you can put more boobs in. And because he's Danny Steinman, he's like, well, out with the violence then. And a few movies that were, and I figure Rush Week is the same thing. It's like, either that or they just didn't have like a good makeup person behind the scenes, and they kind of kept it. Had to say,
It's
okay,
shame
we don't
because
have any blood.
it's shame because it does have some good moments in it.
Apparently, according to you, some very good moments.
Yeah.
Last Gasp. I barely remember this.
I own it. I haven't watched it yet, and it hasn't been one I've watched. So,
Obviously, everybody is going to rush to get Dark Tower because it's their favorite movie, and they love it.
It's funny. It's funny, A lot of people point down. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Anything, 2 words, Jenny Agutter. If Jenny Agutter is in a movie, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy it just for that because she's a good actress.
Don't get me wrong, it's not like the greatest movie of all time. It's a movie you'll forget about probably in a month or so if you don't bitterly hate it,
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right for what it was, It reminds me of those ones that used to be on TV on the cheap channels. And you watch it because there's nothing else on. You go, oh, that wasn't too bad. It's an easy way wasting an hour or so,
So you think it does deserve the vitriol it's gotten?
Say that again?
So you don't think it actually deserves the vitriol it's gotten online where it's like, oh, this is the worst thing Vinegar Syndrome ever put out?
No.
And it's like,
by far, no.
No, like, have you watched most of Vinegar Syndrame's catalog?
Exactly. I mean, if you want, I can give 2 massive recommendations right now, right, from this list. Actually, 3. I can say Hit You in the Dark, I thought was amazing just for the comedy element.
I agree.
The comedy in that film is hilarious. Right? Do yourself a favour. That goes up. Buy that. If you've never heard of it, seen it, it's definitely a buy. For the comedy aspect, Death Promise is brilliant. It's cheesy. It's terrible, but it's in all the right ways. The conversations are stiff, but it's fun. It's utter fun. And the other one, Perfect Strangers, is a lot of fun too. I really like that film. So much so, I actually bought 3 copies over the last year.
Oh, wow.
Of that film, yeah. So I highly recommend it. Question, what's this?
And Larry and Belky aren't in it at all. For those that are old enough to remember Perfect Strangers, the comedies come on.
Oh, I remember that show, yeah.
Anderson Dark Tower. Remember reading an article about it in Fangoria. Actually, I do remember that. I would 100% recommend Hit You in the Dark. For those that don't know, it's Umberto Lenzi. Yep. So you're not only getting like a cool little film, it's actually an Italian one as well. Shot in America with Josie Bissett, and she's great in the film. There was the ending that he initially wanted. I'm going to be honest right here, because he says on the disc that he wanted a different ending for the film, and he says the ending of the film, and I'm like, I would have hated that. I like the ending that the film has.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is good.
So yeah, that one, 100%. Here's one that I'm going to put a shout out to, that I know a lot of people are going to be wonder about. Morro Valley Massacre. So this is one that if you've ever bought any of those like 50 or 100 horror packs, it's probably been there. But it's always in like crap quality. It's always like one of those like rip of a VHS of a VHS. Oh, well, George, thank you so much. We got our first. 100% recommend Hit You in the Dark. Here's one that I would. I'm going to put a shout out to, that I know a lot of people are going to be wonder about. Morro Valley Massacre. So this is one that if you've ever bought any of those like 50 or 100 horror packs, it's probably been there. But it's always in like crap quality. It's always like one of those like rip of a VHS of a VHS. Oh, well, George, thank you so much. We got our first
Nice one.
So you raise. It's the tiramisu cake, by the way, guys. It's like I heard something upstairs. I'm like, then I realized my better
Someone's
half was
broken
back.
in.
She was gone last night, and I was like, breaking in to get
We're going to get a
some of
Jello
my
death on
Vinegar
screen.
Center movies. Thank you so much again, George. We got our first one today, and you know what?
Lovely.
It's. I need to get brand new extra like cakes pictures to put on here, so that I can have like I can do some. Remind me, Malcolm. I got to get new cake pictures.
I'll remind you. I will say get new cake pictures.
But more Valley Massacre, I'm going to give it a big recommendation. It's one of it's crazy. It makes no sense. You're going to guess the twist. You're really going to guess the twist. But did you like it?
I did. I thought it was all right. It's not the greatest, but like you said, the twist is obvious. But who cares? Sometimes you're just in it for the ride, aren't you?
Yeah, like people always say like things like, "Well, I can't believe that they went that way." That's the most obvious way to go. But sometimes when you're writing something, you realize that it's obvious for a reason.
Well, sometimes the most obvious way is the way you want to go, because most people will go, "Oh, it can't be that obvious." But the problem is, where it is that obvious, people go, "Oh, I knew that straight away," and you're like,
as you should, because it was structured in a way that it should be.
I'm going to say this: don't answer the phone. I watched that recently. One of the most silliest movies I think I've ever watched.
It is. I mean, like, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, it's okay. No. It's Nicholas Worth, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I remember him mostly from like Darkman. Like, he played a lot of heavies. Yeah. Good to see him in a lead role.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch it over, Don't Go in the House. Like, if I had to choose between those two, because they're both kind of video nasty types.
Yeah.
I'll watch your Don't Answer the Phone first, but it's still never going to be a favorite. What is a favorite of mine is right here, Graduation Day.
Oh, I watched that many times with my mum when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of my favourite films. Christopher George, Linnea Quigley's in it. It's a brilliant film. I love the deaths. I love the twist at the end. Hell, I love when he's going into town, when she's going into town, and there's that crazy guy in the truck. It's a brilliant movie. If Fatal Games came out, that'd be a great double movie watch. Back to back watch.
What I love about like Graduation Day, well, almost everything. I think it's like an amazing slasher. But Patch McKenzie, the lead actress, is the opposite of what you assume you're going to get from from one of the the lead actors in one of these type of films.
A very strong character.
Yeah, like she's not the virginal Laurie Strode, like Shrinking Violet type of character. Well, Laurie Strode not Shrinking Violet.
And she's not going through this transition of being weak to strong. She's not saying she's strong the whole time, and she's a bit of a badass already.
She may be gay. Too, it's kind of hinted at that maybe when it comes to that aspect of it, and she's had to go through like this creepy stepfather, which you want to see the crap being out of that dude. But it was a really good film, and I love the ending of it. I love the little twist on the end.
Yeah,
and the cast. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Billy Huffsey in this?
I believe so.
Because he would go on to be like in Fame, like later seasons of Fame. Got the Camille Keaton box set. Nice, Charlie.
Nice.
And he went on to be in a show called Soap Opera Days of Life. I know my soap operas. Yeah. He was in that as well as a character. But I know he was in Fame. He was a dancer too. Like he was actually a dancer in real life.
Nice.
But I'm pretty sure I think he's the boyfriend of Linnea Quigley. His character. So yeah, recommendation.
I think one of my favourite kills in that movie, other than the one at the disco thing where they're running through the park thing,
Yeah,
has to be in the locker room. With the thing. I just love it. It's just so crazy. Like anyone could walk in at any time.
it's it's a great. I mean, it's a really good film, and I the more I talk about it, the more excited I get, and the more I hope it comes on the sale.
I would love it with the slip because I want the slipcover version.
I initially picked up the 88 Films edition, which I'm sure you got as well.
Yeah, they
Was
both got separate special features, haven't they? One's got a screen cream one, and the other one's got I think behind the scenes. I think.
Yeah, but the 88 Films one's got the Scream Queen exposed documentary,
Yeah.
and this one has like because this was an early one. Interview with Patch McKenzie, interview with the producer, like a bunch of interviews. Got
Yeah.
2 commentaries, one with the steer continues, which I find then to be pretty good most of the time, especially if it's a movie that I don't really enjoy too much. And
Yeah.
I think steer continues like commentary on Wacko actually made me appreciate it more because I
Yeah.
went in dreading watching Wacko. I was
Yeah.
on Just to This podcast, and that's one of the movies we're going to be reviewing. And I was like, okay, how am I going to review this movie? I remember not liking this movie. And I ended up enjoying the movie a bit more. And for those a little behind the scenes, when you review a movie for whether it's for print journalism or YouTube or anything like that, then you can't watch it just once.
No.
You watch it several times, and if there's especially and if it's a DVD or Blu-ray or 4K, then you have to take in all the special features as well because it's part of the package.
Yeah.
So when I went to watch, I'm doing on my Patreon, I want to be doing, especially with the new site coming up,
Yeah.
some adult movie reviews in a different way to take more of there's a guy that does like a 10-room Bizarro guy does really kind of like intense kind of graphic reviews and really good what style reviews he's done. I won't be taking in that direction, but taking in more of a movie direction. But the one I first wanted to do was Taboo because it's a classic. It's Curtis Stevens. He was written by his wife, but it's got 4 commentaries. So I got to sit down and watch the movie Taboo, which is okay.
One of the commentaries is not good, but
Is it?
because one of the commentaries because I've listened to 2 of them. I listened to both the Kay Parker ones. The first one is really good because she's not as older in that one. And she's talking about things. She's actually enjoying the movie, talking about it. And you can tell when it comes to the scenes of her and Mike Ranger, she's getting a bit hot under the collar. Right. In the second one, where I think she was like in the late years, so maybe like late 60s, she just sits there kind of, So a lot of people were angry with that commentary, and I can see why, but I didn't listen to the other two.
That's the movie that she'd probably been, asked about a lot.
Yeah.
So, you see sometimes people say they go to conventions, right?
Yeah.
And they'll get up there and they'll talk to a certain person, and they'll feel like either dismissed or they feel like it just wasn't a good experience, which is you shouldn't have the convention. You pay money to go out and see stuff like that. But on the other side of it, I like to try to think on both sides of the fence where, if you're there and I'm not sure let's just say you're Tom Smith, because he's been controversial at conventions.
Yeah.
And there's a row of like 30 or 40 people there, and over half of them are asking them the exact same questions about Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I'm sure after a while it gets a little bit frustrating.
I would think so. Well, that's what happened with Anthony Perkins, wasn't it? He got sick and tired of Psycho because everybody kept asking him about Psycho.
Well, yeah, and like Leonard Nimoy with Spock, he literally wrote
Yeah.
a book called I Am Not Spock. Then he said, wait a minute, I shouldn't kind of complain about the fan base. And then they wrote another book,
I like the old Star Trek porno with Leonard Nimoy. I preferred that. To be honest, I thought he was a great character.
I love Star Trek. Sacrilege! The Bees, by the way, The Bees. Would you recommend The Bees?
I would recommend The Bees. John Saxon's great in that. I would recommend it. I haven't seen the Vinegar Syndrome, but I've seen the film before. I own it. I want to rewatch it again because it's been years. But I will say it's a lot of fun.
It is.
I think the one thing I will say quickly though about Vinegar Syndrome titles is I think sometimes people take them too seriously when they watch them. And I think people expect too much. I think if you go in not expecting too much, you'll enjoy the range a lot more.
Oh my god, yeah. Like this is, and this is like it's an environmental movie about killer bees
Yeah,
that are there to send the message. Like it's what it's about. Like it's got John Saxon in one of one of his like more like unique roles.
yeah,
He's not playing cop in this one so much. He's he's the one that he wants to get with all the girls, and we
yes,
got John Carradine, and it's a fun movie. Like we sat
it is.
down. My dad was visiting, and like my cousin was over, my kids were over. We made some hot dogs, some burgers, sat down, watched the bees, had a blast with it. It's like having popcorn thrown on, and it's such a. And this is a cool cover too. Like if you don't have it, the slip covers like
Oh, it's fire.
I don't normally buy over like for slip covers unless I really really want
Yeah,
want to film. But again, this one doesn't have a lot of features on there. And what blows my mind is I really enjoyed this one by Alfredo Zachariah,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he did did he do Frightmare as well?
I think so.
No, someone else did Frightmare, but he did a movie on here.
But there was
And
another film called Fight Man, wasn't there? Or
a
was
movie that
that
made me fall asleep.
the fight? Oh, Pete Walker did a Fight Man, didn't
He did a Frightmare. Though.
he?
Angel
Yeah.
Tompkins, I forgot Angel Tompkins was in there. welcome, Chud, and welcome, Fat.
Hey guys.
Yeah, the classic. Yeah, because this starts out. B starts out with them trying to like sabotage, right? The
Yeah.
bee colony. Scream Factory just announced My Bloody
They
Valentine.
did. I was going to say that. I was going to say I saw that earlier, and I was like, it had to be Shout Factory, the one company that won't ship to England.
I'm looking. I want to see this.
If there's a collector, if they release a collector's edition of that, like proper with poster and that, I'm going to have to bribe someone in America to take it for me and send it to me. It's my favorite movie one of my favorite movies of all time. So
it's on down the disc. Okay.
yeah,
Down now. So did they announce or did Don to just like do the thing that he does where he kind of like leaks things ahead of time? And I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that?
what leaks ahead of time?
Yeah.
I think it ruins the surprise from the Asian companies. I mean, all of this does it with Arrow all the time.
I agree.
And announce it 2 days early.
I know that like me and I know other YouTubers that are on here, and we find out things sometimes months in advance
Yeah,
of titles that are coming out, just because we'll be talking to people or may know some people working
Yeah.
on special features, but it never comes across us to like leak it out
yeah,
because it takes the fun out of it. Because at the end of the day, I'm in front of the camera. I'm a collector too.
yeah.
And I like the joy of that. Like I get excited when Vinegar Syndrome's like stuff is coming up, and you're not sure what the titles are going to be. Like, I'm glad. I'm excited about this. Oh, I think he is in a ninja. Are you into ninja movies?
I'm a massive Ninja movie fan, and I've seen Ninja Terminator. I actually think Ninja Terminator is actually one of the better ones out of the Godfrey Ho collection. My two favourites are Ninja Dragon and Ninja the Protector, because you can't go wrong with Golden, Richard Harrison. I feel like is like the ultimate ninja who basically doesn't look like a ninja and wears the outfits and that. Ninja Terminator is interesting because it's got the three ninjas against each other, if I remember correctly, for one part of each part of this golden statue. But so it's been, I think, the Supreme Ninja. It's been a while. And the fight at the end is great. Like when they go like, and all this. It's not one of the most craziest, because there are crazier ones, because I've been collecting them from Germany on DVD. I don't know where you are, Charlie, but I've been getting them from Amazon, Germany, and eBay. like Ninja Showdown, Cobra versus Ninja. They've all been available media books. The problem with the media books, they've got great covers, but they've got the same booklet in for the most part. So it kind of makes them feel a bit of waste of money in that sense. The other thing that you have to be aware of if you do get those media books is that each one, in the two disc one, has another movie in it. So technically, I bought 10 of them and ended up having doubles of every single one of them, but in each other's things. So that was kind of annoying. So yeah, I hope they release more. I would love to see them on Blu-ray or even 4K, probably, because even though they're classified as trash cinema, they're amazing. The best ninja movie of all time, in my view, that's non, canon, right? Like and the Ninja and all this other stuff, has to be. Has to be. I'll answer that question in a minute, Andy. Thanks for asking that. Has to be Life of a Ninja. Life of the Ninja is the best ninja movie I think I've ever seen. And Andy, I will say I have thought about importing from Diabolic DVD, but the shipping felt too much. It was like I think it was like $27. To me, that's a lot of money. But in saying that, it might work out cheaper than getting it shipped to somebody and them sending it. So I might give it a go if I can put a whole load of things together, because I don't like the idea of buying one item when I'm doing that. So I will take that into consideration because I used to get from Orbit DVD in America for the UK and stuff. But obviously I can't do it now because they charge $60 shipping to England. What's this? Charlie O'Green Ninja is one of the better ones. The fight at the end is epic. I also bought the Germany Love the Media books. Yeah, it is. It's one of the better ones. I mean, Golden Ninja Warrior is a bit, and I will say those media books are great. I need to try and get American Commando on that, the ones that are not the Ninja ones, but they have the similar casting. Because I think I picked up Hitman in the Cobra recently on DVD because some of them I missed the media books and they cost way too much if you miss them. But yeah, I'm definitely picking them up, Charlie, and I definitely think that this is a section of cinema that a lot of people talk about, but they don't appreciate a lot because wacky's similar sort of thing. I don't know if you watched, and I will stop talking in a minute. I don't know if you watched the special features on the disc, but there was one with Mike Abbott where he said they were paid, right? They were given a handshake agreement. They'd be paid a certain amount per hour. They never had a contract. People got injured on the set and they never gave them any time off, right? If you did take time off, you got fired, right? Richard Harrison hated those movies. He absolutely hated them because he said they ruined his career, which in my view, right, his career wasn't that great in the first place, so they did him a favour on that one. And Mike Abbott is probably one of the most weirdest actors because he's so like, and all this. Just brilliant. I just think those movies are brilliant. They're not the best ninja movies because there are other ninja movies out there, but far superior where they're not cut and paste ninja films. Like Life of a Ninja, obviously American Ninja, Enter the Ninja, Ninja 3,
What do you think of Shokazuchi?
Shokazuchi, I think he's a fantastic original practitioner of ninjutsu. But I will say this, other than Pray for Death and, Enter the Ninja and Revenge of the Ninja and Ninja Fear Domination, his movies kind of went downhill. I think Black Eagle, isn't that great of a film. It's been years since I've seen it, and it has young Jean-Claude Van Damme in. Rage of Honor barely has any ninjas in it. Nine Deaths of a Ninja is hilarious because of the guy in it who constantly laughs, and it has some interesting scenes in it. What are some of the other ones? I'm missing a couple, aren't I? Anyone remembers? Let me know down below. But I think it was great. It was better as a bad ninja than a good ninja because he could do that hateful stare like in Enter the Ninja. In case for one, Enter the Ninja is my number one favorite movie of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's that. Then it's Prom Night, and My Bloody Valentine. They're my 3 top movies of all time. If they release a collector's £500 edition for one movie, I'd buy it day one.
So you should have met me when I was in Nova Scotia. You could have actually visited where My Bloody Valentine was made.
No, that sucks, doesn't it? But yeah, so if anybody wants to ask questions about that stuff, ask me. Thank you, Charlie, for bringing it up. I really appreciate that because I don't get to talk about it often.
And as we were talking about yesterday, like types of films that really aren't getting a lot of notice. I think we might get like a Godfrey Ho movie has come out now on Vinegar
Yeah.
Syndrome, so we may get. I think we may be getting more Godfrey Ho, so you may get your wish.
That's true. I mean, Neon Eagle have bought the rights to a lot of them. So I will definitely be watching them. That's probably the company I'll end up buying from, Diabolic. Because, like I said earlier, I don't mind buying and paying a bit of shipping. I just want to have like 10 or 12 titles to make it feel like it's worth that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, exactly.
What's that? Plenty, but you also enjoy them. I also got the Ninja Condos media book. Features retro style cover. I heard Fire Emblem Ninjas is supposed to be one of the better ones. I'll be honest with you, Ninja Condors, I remember getting the DVD of in HMV. And Alexander Lowe Ray in tons, like Ninja Kids, or in other places it's Ninja Venom 1, 2, 3, Ninja Death 1, 2, 3, or just it's the condensed version, not the Ninja Condors, but the Ninja Death one he was in. And he's such a great fighter, such a great thing. Mafia versus Ninja, Shane Chassis Kung Fu, what's the other one? Shaolin versus Ninja. There's another one that I'm forgetting. What is it called? Shaolin Guards versus Ninja, which is called something Shaolin Heroes, I think, in the UK. That one, but that Ninja Condors is a good one. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. There's another one. Ninja Executioners, I think, is the Super Ninja. It all depends on where you are, but Ninja Condors is a really good one. I enjoyed it. It's not as good as the other ones, but it's a lot of fun. As for Five Element Ninjas, that's Shaw Brothers. You can't go wrong with Shaw Brothers. They did some great ninja films, and they were the Venoms. The Venoms were in that movie. So if you watch Five Element Ninjas and you enjoy it, you definitely need to watch more Venom things like Crippled Avengers and stuff. Definitely.
I'm tempting people with Camille Keaton.
Ooh.
Damien, it's a sexy set, man. I will even show you. Look at this. Look at these. How can you look into these eyes and not want this set?
Oh dear. Are they eyes? I didn't realise that.
Oh yeah. On both sides.
Nice. What's this?
The eyes of Camille Keaton.
If you grew up in the 80s, you couldn't help love ninja movies. Even in the UK,
that was the height of the ninja. was the 80s.
It was. It's a shame, really, because ninjas kind of came and went. I mean, now when you get ninja films, for the most part, they end up being more kid-friendly than they do anything. Ninja Assassin was good. You know, the one in 2009, but show as the villain and the other guy. I like that, but I thought it was too mysterious with him coming out the shadows more. Even though that's more realistic in the sense of the history and the myth of them.
So you gave him a list of movies that you get, man.
Awesome. Definitely let me know, Charlie, what you think of them if you do end up watching them.
So it looks like we got Return to Disc has picked up the Camille Keaton set right on. and Sugar Cookies.
Nice one.
Well, Tragic Ceremony, like for me alone, would have been worth $25 for that set. But I liked all the films. I'd say, ironically, Sex of the Witch, which I still really like, is it's almost like there's too much sex. Which I never thought I'd say about a movie. But, you not only are the films there, but you got the commentaries. So you're guaranteed 2 watches right at the gate. You're going to watch the films because you're going to want to see the Camille Keaton films. Stuff like Tragic Ceremony. And I think you're going to watch that one at least, definitely more than once. And Sex of the Witch, you might watch like the non-sexy version more than once. But you get commentaries as well, so you're guaranteed 2 watches at least out of each of those
Yeah.
films. And it's a
Nice.
great set. And at $25, it's the best cost to value ratio for the titles there. Like the American Ninja collection. I love the American Ninja stuff. I have those from 88 Films. I didn't get the box set like you did, but I got the when they initially came out. There was like the FOP sale that I talked about, the 88 Film FOP sale.
It's funny with the American Ninja films. I'll say something about that in a sec, but I will say Miami Connection is great. I enjoyed it. Funny enough, I hadn't seen that until I bought the Vinegar Syndrome version because it never came into my view. So that's kind of sad, really, but it's great. American Ninja, the Ultimate Collection. I bought the 88 Films one. I had to buy it off eBay used, and I'm glad I did. Because I like them being in the separate cases. I don't like them condensed in one case. I really don't. And obviously they come with little booklet linear notes as well. So I do like them. I'd wish, even though it's technically not a part of American Ninja, I do wish that the fifth one was in the set.
Everybody says
technically isn't, I do like the fifth one. Even though it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to originally be called American Dragons originally. But they just think, because they changed it, don't like, what's his name? David Bradley was called Joe in it and all this stuff. And you're just
it makes
like,
no
wow.
sense that way. Like, it's not an American Ninja film. Like, I see where they put things in, like change the name and stuff like that. Like, time-wise, it doesn't work. But it's a fun film.
It is.
It's like the fifth, and people forget, like, it exists. But, where's that? Got over here. Run by Olivier Grenier and Nemesis. There's a fifth Nemesis, but only 4 of them are put out. So
one film I do recommend if people haven't seen it from Canon is the American Samurai with Dave Bradley. That is a brilliant movie. It's one of the first films that introduced I can never say his name right, Mark Dacascos. He was more prominent in that film. It was one of the ones that really showed him more. And that's a really fun movie. It's kind of like Bloodsport, but with actual weapons and stuff like that. I absolutely adore that movie. That needs a Blu-ray release, that movie. Definitely revisit Ninja movies. You can never go wrong with them. They're either really cheesy, they're either really bad but fun, or they're just exciting. I never get tired of them. Never.
We're almost there, man.
Oh, just under 8 minutes.
I think we're gonna have like 10 titles. I say 2 partner labels. I'm gonna guess 2 to 3 partner labels.
Yep.
And 6 to 7 it'll be like Vinegar Center.
I agree, because if you look at this list, there's 3 partner labels, and then the rest are Vinegar Syndrome. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
It's going to be interesting to see this is the one. Like, I think the one people are least will still do it live, but the one people are least excited about right now is probably going to be Tuesday, because it's not it's not a limited title. It's a standard edition to get for cheap.
Talking about that, 4K, right? 4K's at $18. Darth said, yes, if you're still here, are you going to buy Beastmaster? If it goes on at $18.
Well, Beastmaster, am I going to buy? I got Beastmaster.
You got Beastmaster?
Oh, I'm a Don Coscarelli fanatic.
You got the BSU, right?
Oh God, yeah. It was a second that I got the Arrow box set of the Phantasm set.
Yeah.
And I've got, like, as soon as they announced that the new VSU line, and it said Beastmaster was going to be there. I'm a massive Beastmaster. I got the TV series, the Canadian TV series too.
Oh, nice.
Massive Beastmaster fan. So that I was excited. That's what got me excited about the VSUs in the first place. I'm like, fantastic. I can't wait to see what the next VSU is. I mean, if Beastmaster is number 1, it can only go up from there.
And
then
Six String Samurai
got announced.
I was gobsmacked when I found out about Sidekicks, because that was a film that I hadn't seen since I was a kid.
It's a fun. It's a fun one. I like Sidekicks. That's the one I haven't picked up yet. That I do have to admit that I love, and right up there too. Like I have the first 2. I have the first 3 when it comes to the VSUs.
Bloodsport 4K Steelbook pre-order from HMV. I saw that. Where was it? Where did I see it originally? I saw it advertised. I looked on Amazon and I saw it on there. And I saw there was a media book version. So I bought the media book version because originally I was going to buy the 4K media book from Germany because it's been out in Germany for quite a while. And I was like, I don't want it with the German writing because obviously I want to read the contents if it's a media book. I mean, I can always put my phone over it and it'll auto translate it now. But, I really think I'm really glad that's coming out because to me, that's one of the prominent films. It has such a great soundtrack, fantastic cast of characters. Always loved the coin moment where he goes, look at your thing for the coin. I can never remember that guy's name, the other guy, the big guy, who basically almost gets. No, not him, the other guy, the American guy almost gets. He was in Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, you plays like the curly haired guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Him. I always love his character, like, yeah, Deuce, and all this, I always love that. I always love that. Definitely brilliant movie. Probably one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's best, if you ask me.
Space Ice. Every Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Have you ever watched Space Ice?
Space Ice?
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel. And he talks about Jean-Claude Van Damme movies and action movies and stuff like that. And he talks about he loves Jean-Claude Van Damme and he hates Steven Seagal. So already totally love that. And it always starts off the video with something like, this is the movie where Steven Seagal proves he can't act. It's great stuff.
There's I would say to say that quickly. It's one of those films where I think Bloodsport is one of those films I believe should be in everybody's collection if they like martial arts, especially of the time period. I mean, to me, Jean-Claude Van Damme wise, it's Bloodsport, Cyborg. What was the other one I was going to say? Bloodsport, Cyborg, Universal Soldier, and there's another one. They're the ones I would. What is it?
Double Impact.
Double
Impact. I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, Double Impact. That's it. Double Impact.
And the one that I got that I really love, the one done by John Woo.
Yeah. That's the other one. Hard Target. There you go. All those. I recently got the 4K Steelbook release of Hard Target. I hated the second one.
70s. I don't think, not as far as I know, at least not in North America. I'm a huge, for those that know, I'm a huge Sentai fan. If you saw me bring over the Power Ranger sets yesterday, then you know that. But there's been more modern Kamen Rider, like Kamen Rider Kuga was done. But I think they've stuck more with the more mainstream stuff. I kind of wish that Mill Creek would have got it over Shout Factory, because if Mill Creek would have got it, they would have released everything like they're doing with Ultraman. They may not have a ton of features, but I'd rather have every single one and just well done, and they're good transfers. Then I would okay, because even those Shout Factory editions, I got the Super Sentai. There's no features on those. Snag the Doris Wishman set. Bulk to tell television terror. What's dropped today? We are less than 2 minutes away, guys, to finding out. And hopefully, I'm going to say this right now, hopefully, as much as I do like some of the stuff that's here, hopefully, one, there's more. Yeah. And hopefully there's a wider selection. We know the price. One thing going in here, guys, is we know everything's $14. So we know we can't be surprised here. The Quest.
Roger Moore's great in that movie.
I actually didn't like the Quest the first time I saw it. It took me a couple times to get used to the Quest.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. I like it now, but I didn't like it first time.
I like Roger Moore in that movie, but to me, it's the best part of the movie. I think it's because it's a little bit later Van Damme. Like I was going to say about Steven Seagal's early films were fun. After that little period and after Mark for Death, they just go really downhill.
Well, I got to make JCVD, so that was pretty cool. The Wishman sets are on your want list. I understand that one.
Definitely.
Wonder if the new sales will
is well
drive
done,
down
so-
subs at all, if they're a regular thing.
Yeah, that's what I said, wasn't it, earlier? I said I think it will because people are going to go, well, I can just wait. I mean, unless you really want the slips and you're desperate for like the partner labels, you know, to get that discount, it probably will happen with a few people because I know I've been a little bit riffed by these sales a little bit after the halfway to Black Friday sale because I bought 200 discs.
Well, the thing is, and we're down to less than 10 seconds,
There
that,
we go.
you know, with partner labels disappearing, and here, hey,
Hey, Tough Guys Don't Dance.
So, Tough Guys Don't Dance is there.
Oh,
I
shit.
love this because not only do I find this like a fun little weird film, but I love that cover. That slipcover is amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
it looks like a paperback novel slipcover. We got Trauma, which is another one that I actually mentioned.
Yep.
Unknown Man of Shangador. I don't have this one from Def Crocodile, but Def Crocodile is actually pretty good. The Ernie Game, Canadian International Pictures. Oh, fiddlesticks. Cain and Abel. Oh, no. The other French New Wave is here as well. Video Murders. And here it is. Shriek of the Freaking Mutilated. If you want that toaster scene in beautiful Blu-ray, then what's your recommendations here for this one?
I just pay in quickly. My recommendations, I would say Trauma. It's not the best Argento, but I would recommend it. I would say definitely Video Murders if you like something a bit cheap, a bit simple, and a bit, you know, on the fun side because it is fun. Shandor, I would say, is worth it just because it's got Serge Gainsbourg in it. Definitely worth it for him alone. You know, incredible artist, incredible history. So with that, you could also get the French New Wave set with it. Just add it as the thing. Death Magic, I bought yesterday at full price.
Did you really?
Right? Yeah. So I've got to contact them and cancel that one because I think within a day is acceptable. You know, if it
And
was like
hopefully-
2 weeks ago, I wouldn't.
Hopefully it's not like Seven where they're like, "Yo, we're going to charge you."
Yeah, I would say, look, I ordered it yesterday because I didn't think it was going to go on sale. So I think they'll give me the refund on that. You know, it was less than 24 hours ago. Cain and Abel, I got in a recent sale. Same as Sugar the Mutilated. Sugar the Mutilated, as I said earlier, it's a decent cheesy film with a decent twist. None of these movies, as far as I'm concerned, are that bad. Death Magic
this is
I've
a
never
good look.
seen, so I can't say because that's one I bought recently. The other one at the top, the Ernie Game, that's been on so many sales. They've been trying to get rid of that for months. You know, because that was in a flash sale as well.
It's not a bad title though. Like a Canadian. Like I remember this movie.
Yeah,
It's definitely, you know, it's very Canadian.
yeah,
But like in all honesty, you pick this up not just for the Ernie Game, but if you're Canadian, and you don't have it, which you probably don't because it's on here. It's Ladies and Gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Cohen. This was a Leonard Cohen. It's like pre-music video done back in the early 80s.
yeah.
And it's like this 42-minute like Leonard Cohen like music story type thing being told, and it is I remember watching it like every time it would show on CBC. I would actually like go out of my way to come home to make sure I was a kid at the time to make sure that I could see it. It is utterly fantastic and it's worth owning this for that Leonard Cohen thing alone. I'm a huge Leonard Cohen fan, and I think he's like, you know, he's a poet. Like he's not. It's not like he's a great singer, but he's a poet and he's incredible. When my oldest was a baby, I used to sing closing time to her to get her to go to sleep at night. So yeah, I would definitely I recommend Ernie Game. Like even apart from the Ernie Game, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Cohen.
Well, I picked up Tough Guys Don't Dance, the Ernie Game, and Death Magic. I just want to say with Matty. Yeah, it sucks. It really does. I know because I know, as I said, I bought so many discs in halfway, but I just know that most of them are going to come up here, and it's going to be like I probably could have saved $100 or more if I'd have waited for this. But at the
Yeah,
time, I didn't know this was what was going to happen. Originally I thought the compound sale was going to be buy one, get $2 off, buy two, get $4 off, stay like that, and then this it kind of just happens. So, but that's the way of it, I guess. But if it's the same day or same 24 hours, yeah, I'm going to ask for a refund on the other one. You know,
because it's
um,
I get more than affecting like the subscription part of it. I think it can affect the sale part of it.
yeah.
Like, do you get it there? Do you wait for the subscriber sale? Like, how
Well,
do
it's
you
bad
keep moving
enough.
like this?
I mean, it's bad enough that the runs on these are getting more and more to like 6,000, 8,000. In a few years, there'll be like 12,000 copies. And I think that takes away from the fun and the value of them in the collection.
I don't think we'll ever get the 12,000 copies again. Like, it would have to be one heck of a movie. Um, like I remember the days of 50,000 and 100,000 copies. Like Anchor Bay would be putting out like, and they wouldn't be like big titles either. They have like, would they be big? They'd be like, but they'd be like random titles. They'd be like 50, 100,000 copies, and they'd
Yeah,
sell. But nowadays, I mean, I don't know, like 12,000, maybe 8,000, maybe 10,000, because
yeah,
it's a different period.
yeah.
We got some love for Leonard Cohen here.
Hey.
Are you a Leonard Cohen fan, by the way?
Not really, but I know some of his stuff, but I'm not a big fan. Not really. The thing is, not really. I mean, if Canadian, you'd know him more, wouldn't you?
Oh well, yeah. Like, it's kind of
You know.
CBC all the time. So we got the the other French New Wave here, Volume One. So there'll be more volumes of this one right here. So we think of French New Wave. We're thinking like Quebecois,
Yeah,
France here, and we got like the Cat in the Bag, the Merry World of Leopold Z, Yol 871 is here. So that's like 3 films in total, with some bonus things here. The Rink, The Big Swim, Paris on the Rocks. The Rink I remember actually. God, all this Canadian stuff takes me back. By the way.
I recommend. Definitely getting Chandler. Definitely, because
Right
it's
here.
just you can't go wrong with him. As I said earlier, you just can't go wrong. Very beautiful, and the pictures are very clear and very beautiful. It's a great master.
Great features on it too. Deaf Crocodile. I don't have much of the. I don't think I've got any of the stuff right yet, but I hear like Deaf Crocodile, you can't go wrong with.
No, I can't.
If you like
Especially with
cheesy bad movies, how can you not get Shriek the Mutilator? Like it
that's
is
the
quite the film, man.
so that's your recommendation for today, is it? Replacing the Camille set.
Well, there's a like here. There's a lot of recommendations. For me, Tough Guys Don't Dance. It is Norman Mailer. You don't normally get a lot of writers that end up like directing, especially directing their own work, and oftentimes when you do, there's varying results.
Yeah,
This is an interesting case. It's an interesting film. It's a unique kind of neo noir style film. Trauma is not one of Jerry Argento's best films. I will, however, say that it is one that I think at $14, grab it if you haven't grabbed it at 10. But the thing is, I think most people that wanted to get this film have probably grabbed it during the 10. The
yeah,
only way is if somebody like didn't missed out on it, or they're coming in new.
yeah.
But there's if you got the card player in your collection and you don't have Trauma, it's better than the card.
I would say and Sleepless. I would
Oh,
say
which
it's
one?
better than Sleepless as well.
Yeah, and I
Because
like Sleepless,
around
but
that time you had Card Player, Sleepless, and Trauma.
yeah, Video Murders a little bit. Just for the cover, that sucks. like it's the curio. But for the top ones for me, I'll pick a top four. No, I'll pick a top five. It's hard this time. So it's Tough Guys Don't Dance, Trauma, The Ernie Game. Definite recommendation on that one. Uh, the other French New Wave, Volume One, and Shriek the Mutilated. Though I think you're pretty safe with most of these films.
Yeah.
I'm very
Death
surprised.
Magic probably not, but you know.
I don't know Death Magic. So
That's what I
probably
mean. Death
one I don't-
Magic probably not. Looks very cheesy, but I have to pick out because I've put in my Culture Shock collection.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be one of the ones I go for first. If you're getting Culture Shock, the train scene
yeah.
is amazing.
I will say the whole section and the end of it where you see the eyes is just brilliant. But the thing that ruins Sleepless is just the ending. The ending of that, for me, it just ruins the whole movie. You know, I love the twist to a degree, but at the same time, it's still better than a lot of the ones that came out, but it's just not, you know.
I think for me,
train
like, I don't
sequence-
mind the twist, but what I will say is, like, in a movie that's got Max von Sydow, who's an incredible actor, it also has some very unincredible actors, and that may be the one thing that takes away more from Sleepless, because I think if you had overall better actors, like Max
Yeah.
von Sydow was great, but like alongside him, like then a twist like that, because there's ridiculous twists in a lot of like original films.
Yeah.
But the right people, being there makes it
Yeah.
palpable. But if you have people that you really don't believe in, then it takes you out of the ride.
Yeah.
That being said, I do like Sleepless. I just don't think it's top tier quality.
I think the
Trauma's
three
much-
worst. I think the three worst Argentos, in my view, are right in no particular order. Mother of Tears, that was horrendous. Jallo, the one with Adrian Brody, that was horrendous, and the Dracula one.
Dracula 3D.
Right? Yeah, they're the three that are really awful. I haven't seen Profondo Rosso yet. That's the new one, right? The Dark Glasses one.
It's not bad. I mean, it's
Norfolk Rosso or whatever it's called. It's called something like Norfondo Rosso because Profondo Rosso is obviously Big Red, isn't it?
yeah. So
the
Dark
other one.
Glasses, is basically like whatever it is in a town, but it's just Dark Glasses. But it's standard,
Yeah.
but it is trying to go back to like more of what he did before. And there's aspects of it that I really, really enjoyed. There's some things I think was a little bit that lagged a bit, but I was very impressed, and I like to see more going forward of like that.
Yeah.
Like we want to.
Well, originally they were going to remake Deep Red, weren't they? At one point, there was a
Well,
whole.
Like there's still like he wasn't, but there was somebody that still might get done. But he was going to do a movie called Sandman,
Yeah.
and it was going to star Iggy Pop. So not quite sure what happened to that one, but I think there's crowdfunding and everything done for that.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dark Glasses has another release over here, to be honest, at a minute. I'm going to have to import the, I think it was a Shudder release in America.
Yeah, like actually, that's where I had to get Shutter. I didn't have Shutter at the time. I had to actually get Shutter to watch it.
Yeah, so I might import that. I'm thinking about importing that with Mallrats, the 4K.
There's some nice Shutter releases. I mean, like recently there hasn't been as many. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can let me know. But there's a Shutter title that I really, really enjoyed, and I hope it got a physical release because I want to buy it. Called The Perfect Host, and it may be one of my favorite Shutter movies of all time. And it's a comedic horror, but it's fun, and the girl that sells it, like really sells the role. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you got Shutter, man, check it out. The soundtrack on Dark Glasses, I will agree, is amazing. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Dark Glasses.
There was a Shudder movie I watched recently that absolutely messed with my head.
Which one?
It was called The Hunted.
Did I see that? I think I did see that.
It's where a guy and this young guy kidnap this woman, and she gets free, right? And they're chasing her through the wilderness. right? And along the way, different people get hurt and that. But there's this scene in it that totally soul destroyed me. It's a big part of the movie, right? A little big, well, not, it's a little twist, right? But it just made me question every single friendship in my life. And it made me question, would I be able to trust people if I was alone with them in the woods? Would my best friend not want to slit my throat or
I
turn
have
on me
seen
if I
that
didn't
small.
do what I wanted to do?
I know
And
what
it
you're
really
talking about.
affected me.
Yeah,
You know the one I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. The
Yeah,
shadow
it
movie that
just,
affected me the most is The Watcher,
oh, yeah,
and because I'm in a country where I don't speak the language,
yeah,
so when I sat down to watch with my dad, I'm watching The Watcher, um, and it's this girl with her husband, and he understands everything, and she is more isolated. She doesn't understand things as well. I'm like, "Oh, I totally get this. I've been in conversations where, you know, I just like nodding my head. My
yeah,
better half is there like to tell me what's going on, but there's that like time in between when you don't quite know.
yeah,
That is so. It's so like, but you can take it and you can like dramatize the paranoia like aspect of it, which is
sure.
fantastic, and put a serial killer in there as well.
Well, you know, it's like my dad. My dad has been going to Thailand for like 15 years. And he finally moved over there to be with the woman he'd married. And they run the shop out there now, right? But in those 15 years, he went to learn, Thai language and stuff, but he never managed to. So when they talk to him, because I spoke to him on video, he has no idea what they're saying to him, right? So they have to point at the till, they have to point at the things, and you just think to yourself, why would you put yourself in a position, on purpose, where the person's not going to translate for you, right? And well, he didn't even try. Do you know what I mean? To learn any of the language. And his wife can't talk English.
Well, that's different.
So, I mean, she can say things like money and all this, different things like, but she can't talk English. So, so it's hard because he can't ask her to translate.
George is right. Stranger is one of the movies that does scare me the most because I lived in an area where, out in the middle of nowhere, for a year, and and it very much was like that. But
Mm.
that could actually stuff like that can actually happen. But no, I feel like I understand your dad because you fall. It's like you fall in love with the place. Like I love Morocco, right?
Yeah,
I love the place and like the people and the culture. The people are so like friendly here,
yeah,
and it is such a and like there's so much more. Like I love Canada. I'm Canadian. I love Canada. But there's parts of Canada where I didn't feel safe walking down the road,
yeah,
and I go out here like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I feel perfectly at ease.
yeah,
I went to through North Sydney, which had some very nice people, but I did not feel ease, and
yeah.
sometimes.
Hmm.
But we got how many films? We got 9 titles this time around, right?
Yeah,
Like one shy of 10. Why not just go for 10?
yeah. Why not?
Like it just seems.
Why not put
And
a lamp in there
yeah. Where's the lamp?
or
So
the
which ones did
birds
you buy
too?
this time around? Did you buy any this time around?
I did. I bought Tough Guys Don't Dance. I bought the Ernie game, and I bought Death Magic, hoping to get a refund from what I bought yesterday. So that came to $42, which isn't bad.
Not bad at all. I talked you into during the games. Nice.
You did.
What surprises me, and I'm the only thing I'm disappointed about in the change in the sale is the bundles disappeared. Remember when they said there were going to be bundles?
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? They said on one day there'd be a bundle thing.
Yeah, and so the bundles day is gone now. So I'm guessing that's
Oh,
probably gone because the compound thing is gone.
yeah. It's not good. I mean, it might be a surprise. It might be a surprise on one of the days. I mean, I don't know if anybody's looked to see if any other movies have been discounted by mistake like they did last time,
Yeah, it is. Or
because
yeah,
because there was
like,
hidden ones, weren't there, last time?
I think that one was done by mistake, and kept going with it and putting one on every day after that.
Yeah,
So which was a smart move.
Yeah.
I would be really surprised if they put in a bundle or surprise any surprises at this point, because right now, like, you got some very good titles, but I will say this seems to be a very non-surprise heavy, a very standard sale.
Yeah, but that's what people were saying about the original one to a degree. And then they went, oh, this is a good day. And then it was like, it's a bad day again. I think it all depends on what you want, because everybody's different. So
Oh, that's the thing. I think this is a good day, personally, myself.
I think this is probably, I mean, personally, I think the box set was a good day if you didn't have any of them and you wanted them.
Yeah.
This is a good day because it's got a good mixture. You've got shot on video, you've got some other type, you've got some foreign films, you've got some different genres. And that's what you want in these type of, days because it hits everybody's system.
I would say that, like, with for me, like, although there are two box sets, like, there's a couple box sets that I think were absolute, like, must-haves.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, because of the pricing of the box sets
yeah,
and the limited amount of them, I actually do think this is probably a better day than the box set day,
mm,
just for the variety.
yeah,
Like, the box sets, better deals. Box sets, definitely, you got some
yeah,
big deals. You bought the Camilla Keaton set, or you bought the George Swishman set. You got
yeah.
amazing deals. Like, no two ways about it. Amazing, amazing deals. But they're never going to get rid of all the copies of Trial. I love the fact that Wave has a picture from Animal
Oh,
Crossing.
Mr. Nooks, right?
Yeah,
And Nooks from Animal Crossing.
I play Animal Crossing, so yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. If you saw my thing on there, at the minute, it's at $12,000.
Picked up televised chair at the last minute. Dude, you the goat. For picking Thank you for picking up televised chair. I want to see a second volume of that. Please, please.
I
Like,
think it's
there's
12.
so many good television horror films.
It might be 11. Because it tells you how much you've spent, doesn't it? I'll
Yeah.
tell you, hold on. I'll tell you. If I go my reward,
And I think Tom Nook is a good guy. I agree with, like, game theorists. Tom Nook is actually not a bad guy at all. He's not completely evil like some people make him out to be.
have a look. Hold on. I hate this whole. I hate how it makes you sign in constantly on the shop thing.
Are you ordering something else?
No, I'm just trying to see how much I've spent so far this year.
I'm kind of curious, actually.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't say. It says on the phone, but it's not. Oh, here we go. I've spent $9,724 in 7 months.
Yeah, this subscriber thing was a massive, like, win for you.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible. But I would say, whatever you do, don't spend that much.
Yeah.
Because luckily the reward points really pay off. I mean, at the minute, I'm at 9,200 points. So technically, I've got $90. And I don't use it on the exclusive products because I think it's a bit of a waste. So what I do is I try and put them on things like VSUs and stuff and VSAs.
Makes sense.
And I'm hoping, does anybody know if you'll be able to use reward points towards a subscription?
You should be. I mean, like,
I mean, I know you can't get more than 50, according to what I've seen on the thing, but, I mean, but could you add it with the other one if you got them both?
I'd contact them just to see. It won't hurt to find out.
Yeah, because I reckon before the end of the year, I could get up to about maybe $200 in points. I mean, so far I've had a lot more than that, obviously, and I've used them. But I reckon within a year, or most years, I could probably get half the subscription price in there with what I buy.
That's the but, like, for what you bought, for the amount you spent this year, and, like, we're only in, like, what, we're in June.
Yeah.
And you got another half the year done. So you have set up all your Vinegar Center. You're getting them all. The big box,
Yeah.
all this coming your way. Only thing you got to buy is any partner labels you like, any VSUs or VSAs that
Yeah.
VSPs that might come out. But you also get 50% off that.
Yeah.
So any of those titles you get are going to be 50% off as well. So yeah, you're pretty set when it comes
I
to.
might be able to. What I should do is I should contact Avery and go, has anybody spent more than I've spent in the last 6 months? Does this get me a free subscription?
Yeah, like in all honesty, if anybody spent half of what you spent,
Yeah.
just subscribe. In all honesty, like if you're looking, go and look at how much you spend. Look at this year, look at last year, and if you find that you're spending more than the subscription amount, when I got my half year subscription, when I did it for the first time, the year before, I could have bought I could have got a subscription, got every single title, for the price that I paid for the titles that I got.
Yeah.
So when it came time to do the half year subscription, I was like, sure. Yeah, I'm probably going to be in Morocco the next year. I won't be able to do it then.
Yeah.
That being said, if I end up if I get a fancy job or something like that down the road, or if the lotto comes in, like I would in the future, like with disposable money, I would 100% get a subscription, because when you live farther away, when you live in another country, and you have a place to bring stuff, to have stuff sent, it makes more sense rather than just to randomly buy or to hope to get things on a sale, to go and just grab a subscription and then go visit in a few months, or put it at, or have a mailbox or somebody that you can have stuff sent to.
Yeah.
You can have it sent to yourself and go and pick it up, because that's what I would do. Then bam, I'd get my subscription. For the next year, I'd have say come to my mom's, whatever.
Yeah.
And I got all my movies. Got 12 months of movies, 12 months of watching to do. Go visit my family, bring them back with me, add, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about the rest of the year. Don't have to worry about missing out. On a monthly basis, people are like, okay, do I want to buy this out? But this only works if you love the titles that the company puts out. If you don't like everything, or if you're only a couple of the titles a month, or only one of the titles a month, or you're bothered by the fact that there may be a title coming in 4K that you might have a Scream Factory edition of, then I'll say maybe shy away then.
I think the key is the reward system. So, not the actual reward system itself, but if you spend more than 1,500, get a subscription. If you spend the other two and you don't spend more than that, don't. And you have to really enjoy the cinema. The reason that I buy so much Vinegar Syndrome and partner labels, as well as television and this other stuff, is because I like watching films that I may never have seen or got a chance to see. I like the obscure, I like the craziness, I like the weirdness, I get tired of mainstream cinema. Do I watch mainstream cinema? Yeah, of course I do. I watched John Wick 4. I thought it was terrible. I watched Creed 3. I thought it was the same old story again. Do you get this in obscure movies? Yeah, of course you do. But there's a little bit more charm to it, in my view, because of the way it is, So I like doing that. I mean, this year I subscribed to Vinegar Syndrome. I subscribed to Radiance. I subscribed to Terrorvision. Right. And I still buy every indicator release. I still buy every what are they? Every Arrow and 88 Films release as well. Unless there's a double up, then I don't. Right. It's happened to me twice. Iceman Cometh, it happened with, and Right and Wrong, it's my wife both doing because it's such a great film. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to go with it, you got to go with it, because it saves you money in the long run. Like, for instance, by being a subscriber to Radiance and Television, I don't have to worry about buying any of their products anymore, because they'll come to me. So that money's free for other movies. Same thing with Vinegar Syndrome. Every month I have to look, see there's a VSA, a Peakorama, or partner labels, and I always buy all the partner labels. And I watch them, Some of them I might go, oh, this looks a bit weird. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this, but I still pick it up because I'm like, I want to be outside my comfort zone continuously. That's the whole point of watching cinema for me. Be out my comfort zone, enjoy stuff. Short video stuff, wasn't very keen on it, started watching it, boom. Now I like it. Now I'm watching it, and I'm getting knowledge of it. I hope Fun City does it. I'm also hoping that Culture Shock does it because I want subscriptions because it's easier. It's more, what do you call it? I have a friend who says to me all the time, why would you subscribe to something? We don't know what's coming out. That's the point. I don't want to know what's coming out. I want to enjoy it. If I've got the money for it, why not?
Well, here's the thing. You're either one of the kids that grew up buying the surprise packages and
Yes.
those
Mystery
comic
boxes,
books where you
mystery
can only see
bags,
the
yeah.
first two, and there's a secret one in the middle,
Yeah.
or the one that like meticulously only would buy exactly what you could see, and when you went to
Yeah.
the store, you bypassed the surprise package and picked your candies
Yeah.
one at a time. Malcolm, am the guy that likes the surprise package.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that subscription services are, as long as they keep going the way that they're going and they keep doing, companies keep succeeding.
Yeah.
It's really the way of the future for a lot of collecting. Now, obviously, it's going to get expensive for some, and not everybody is going to be able to pick every subscription. So it's going to be like a pick and choose type of thing. And with that, it may not work for some companies because some companies, at the end of the day, may not survive it. Because everybody's going to buy Vinegar Syndrome because they know Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
But not everybody knows Culture Shock, or not every. Now, I think Fun City Editions would be one that would do well. Can you imagine a Criterion subscription, Malcolm?
Oh,
That would be
incredible.
I want to say so. I can't actually because it's a regular channel.
Okay, well, I bought the new. I bought the new Bruce Lee 4K. So I bought the Arrow exclusive one, in the yellow packaging. I didn't like.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't like the red packaging. I thought it was too basic. But I will say this: even though I thought the red packaging was too basic, I did prefer the inside cover artwork, on the disc tray things, on the red one, because the red one has more kind of like fighting things and stuff, as the yellow one seems to be more like face shots.
Yeah, I'd say right now, what you need to do, guys, you got to tweet out to Criterion. You got to start send a message to Criterion, tell them that he should do a subscription service. Because, that would be amazing.
While you're at it with the Criterion, tweet to Vinegar Syndrome, give Malcolm, May to December, a free subscription next year for being a big supporter. But don't send that to Criterion because they might go, huh?
Yeah, get me in the Criterion closet.
I would love a Criterion subscription. Again, that's probably the one that would put many people out their comfort zone the most because, they release some big films, but also release some films that are really, really different to what the norm would be. Do you know what I mean?
George would rather see what he's buying. But think of it, George, in a way too. How many times have you blind bought a film that you weren't sure about? Sometimes it works out great, and other times it's the Armand family set.
Mm.
But a lot of times, you get some really good stuff through blind buys.
I think for me, I'd rather blind buy than buy the same old movie that I've seen over and over again. Prime example, if it's something like, I don't know, it's I'm trying to think of a movie that everybody's seen. Let's say Schindler's List, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant movie. Brilliant, right? But why would I buy that again on a new format instead of going for things that I've not seen before that might have a different view? Do you see what I mean? I can always get that movie.
Let me give you a quick counter argument, so I'll be right back.
Sure. Let's see the thing. I used to move DVD sets for blind buys.
So,
I think that's good. I think that's great, Matty.
In blind buys, You can
Charlie,
end up
the
with
name
stuff
of
like
my
this.
channel, my name of my channel, Charlie, is May to December.
Yeah, this,
It's on the screen. It should be by my name, May to December.
so you can end up with stuff like this,
Yeah,
which are films. Barely.
yeah. But Dull Pleasance is in one of them, which adds
I
to it.
like, yeah, I do. I like Donald Pleasance. This is the weirdest. Like, look at this case like closely. So does it not look like that the snake is coming up to bite the native guy in the ass?
It does. I thought that when I first saw it. As advertised. Thanks for asking, Charlie. Don't get me wrong, I love buying blind buy, but it's a hit or miss for me. It always is. You know, they can't all win. I mean, I've bought films or got films, I kid you not, but I put on 45 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is trash, you know. It's
Yeah.
awful, it's bad. Why am I watching this? And then I finish it. Right? There was one I turned off. What was it called? It was a really low budget horror movie that came out recently, something a Phone of the Mask or something. And I took it off. I took out the player and I kept going. I finished the last half of that, and that was like 7 months ago, right? You know, and I'm like, oh. But then they're the ones where you watch them, they're blind buys, and you're like, how did I not know about this masterpiece? You know,
And,
it's like the lottery, isn't it, really?
and sometimes with certain films, like you can watch it and absolutely hate it. And it
Yeah.
could just be the situation, the mood, whatever. It's not just hitting with you.
Yeah.
Like people will often say, well, I'm going to buy a movie. If I don't like it right away, I sell it right away. Me, I'll wait a bit because I want to see if I can come back to it. And it's
Yeah.
going to like hit me differently.
Well, again, it's all about mood, mindset, how you feel in the day.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know, if I've had a rough day and I put on a movie that's depressing, I might hate it more because I go, oh, you know, if I've had a bad day and I'm happy. If I've had a bad day and I'm watching a comedy, it might cheer me up. I might go, oh, it's brilliant. You know,
yes,
it
this is,
happens.
and like, there you go. This part, if you do not like a movie, just send it there. I 100% agree. Send it my way. The guy that can't get movies right now because he's in Morocco,
Yes.
I will send you an address. You can send the movies my way if you don't like them. I'll give you a perfect example of like not liking a movie and then kind of growing on you a bit. So my kids were young, and the movie Hostel came out.
Yeah.
And rather than rent it, for some reason, he had like copies at the store at the store when it came out to buy. So and it was like fairly cheap too. So I went and about Hostel, and I came home and I played some Donkey Kong 64 to kind of put the time frame into a place. And then I
Yeah.
sat down and I watched Hostel. And I'm like, this is just atrocious. Like it's like it's porn in the worst type of way before the name
Until the
Twitch.
eye's sane, and then it gets better.
So I sold it the next day. I actually brought it back and sold it to that same place for a loss, for like an $8 loss. And I think it was about a year and a half later, I got to rewatch that. And the same thing happened to me with Eden Lake, is that at the end of the day, they were eliciting the response that they should elicit, that I should be angry, that I should be upset.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the right mindset or frame to basically take into that this is what they were going for. Eden Lake is another one. Like if you watch Eden Lake, you get to the end of that film. Oh my God. Like you're not going to be like coming out at Eden Lake, after Eden Lake afterwards and like just like what a happy day.
I'm going to be honest. That movie to me is one of the best British horror movies of all time.
It is, but the first time I saw it,
and it's the most realistic as well.
I got angry, and as I was supposed to get angry, as a filmmaker, worked my emotions.
Yeah.
But at the time that I initially saw Eden Lake, my anger took out on the film. And like, what a horrible film. I hate this movie. What a mean film.
Yeah.
I now have it in my collection. And I bought it, the French release, actually, because they got a nice.
No, they announced it for 4K.
Yeah. And it is a brilliant film, but I would say going in the first time, just know, guys, like if there's any movies, like, is there ever a movie that would tell people not, is there ever a movie you would tell people not to buy? That's not by Cardona.
You should, George. You should watch it. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, it like just be ready to be, to be a bit upset.
It's one of those
Um,
films. It's one of those films that if you did a review of it, right, you'd have to talk more about the atmosphere and everything than the actual story because you'd spoil it.
oh yeah, early role for Michael Fassbender too,
Yeah.
but it's something I wouldn't recommend. I said a Siberian film. I will never recommend that film.
Do you know what? I remember
Siberian
back in the day, I downloaded it uncut, right? Because I was like, I'm gonna watch this uncut. The ending scene always annoys the hell out of me. You know, like when people talk to me about it, you know, when they go, "Oh, I finally watched it," and then they tell me about the ending, and I'm like, "This film, it's supposed to be about Siberian politics, you know, the whole meaning and everything." And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this film, and I'm like, "This is just disgusting. It's foul. It's horrible. It's twisted." You know, and I get what they were going for to a degree, but it just feels like an exploitive film to be exploitive.
That's perfectly what I was about to say. I don't believe for a second that what they're when they talk about it, like, well, no, this is it's we're actually talking about the Serbian like political
Yeah,
statement. And
this was.
I've seen lots of films where they get dark and deep, and like it kind of mirrors the
Yeah.
politics of the country and all that type of stuff. But it's just the way, and people will say, well, it's a beautifully shot film that I can beautifully like shoot like myself using the washroom. It doesn't make it like
No,
quality
it doesn't
cinema.
make it good, does it? Or nice.
But at the end of the day, I didn't believe them. I didn't believe that they were being authentic with when they said, okay, no, this is a political
Yeah.
statement. No, it's exploitation, and it's not
Yeah.
good exploitation. It's exploitation to be like let's. It's like you ever have like a friend that like always comes along and he's just gonna recommend the edgiest films
Yes.
because
Yes.
of that type. That's what that seemed like.
Yeah. That's exactly that. Yeah. I was saying
But
that
the Dragon Lives
by
Again. I think the movie needs an audience to be fun.
Is that the one where they did the where he's in hell and is that the one where he's in hell when he fights Popeye and all Popeye and that work with him? Uh, and it was a Taiwanese film, I believe, if that is the one. With Popeye, and then I think there's Dracula and Mummies in it. It could be a different one, but I watched one called. That's the one, yeah. Popeye is
Yeah,
his friend, yeah. And Popeye is played by young Eric Sang,
yeah,
which is interesting. I love the bit where he goes "Choo, choo," and he gets up. You know, yeah, it's a fun film, but it's not a good film.
yeah. I 100%.
You know, and after a while, it does feel very. Hey, Gino.
Jetsons the movie and Ape. Oh, Ape is fantastic.
Let me see what you say. I did enjoy your video. I have to comment on that video. I was in such a rush. I was such a rush after I watched it because the wife needed me. If I did comment, I will comment on it, Gino. I promise I will do that because I think it's always respectful to do that. You know.
And Tiffany's in Jetsons, so I'm always had a Tiffany wall.
Is the ape one the Boris Karloff one?
The Ape one's the 3D one with the girl from
Okay.
from Growing Pains, Joanna Kearns.
Okay.
And so
Sure.
when you see it's where the ape kind of puts up the middle finger.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got you. Because they released the Boris Karloff one as well, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah. Jetsons the movie. I watched that in years. I love the series. Jetsons.
I bought my better half the Jetsons series for Christmas around 2 years ago,
Yeah.
which is like it was at Walmart, and I was like, it was like at a great price too. So yeah, I'm gonna pick it up for with their Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
And I picked up a couple others at the time. And Walmart have like exclusive like cartoon like one sets, and sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're like you get them and it's like, did Echo Bridge make this? Because this is as cheap gets. Walmart, come on, do better.
I going off topic a little bit. I went back to the Severance sale.
All right.
Bought 19 more titles.
List them.
And you want me to list them? All
Go
right.
if you can. And name the best ones. What do you think are some of the best stuff?
Well, I bought the Caligula set, the toe. I bought that with the coin because I want the coin and the box.
I can. I would totally do that.
Let me just. I can sign on here to get them up.
So you got Caligula Miscellanea, which is a big one.
Yeah, I got that one. I picked up. I was actually looking forward to them. I picked up that Sexploitation, the one you recommended.
Yes.
I picked up Mondo Fudo and Mondo Bizarro.
If you're gonna pick a Sexploitation, you should pick up that one.
Invasion of Blood Farmers.
All right.
Satan's Slave. The one that's the foreign one, because I know there's the one on Intercam Vinegar Syndrome, which I actually liked, that one, that British one. Or was that Slave of Satan?
Which there's two. Like there's a remake and there's the original. Which one's that? Is that the original?
I think the original one that came out for Vinegar Syndrome as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Future Shock, the story of 2000 AD. You recommended it. Echo and the Forbidden. That's part of that Mondo Fudo. The same box art.
Oh, I love those. I gave those to my dad because I wasn't sure they were going to make it across the border. Yeah. But I love those titles.
Nosferatu in Venice with the slipcover. Axe and Kidnapped Coed. Scream in the Streets. Beyond the Seventh Door, Suffer Little Children, because I fancied those two DVDs. Jack the Ripper. Night Killer.
Oh, yes.
Rings of Disaster, the trilogy. I had to get that because I love the lenticular cover on that box. Grizzly, Day of the Animals, and Murderlust.
Nice. Look, Sean asked, what do you do for a living to afford all these? If he told you, he'd have to kill you.
Yeah. If I told you, well, I'm an assassin. So, did you want me to say the other ones again?
For sure, yeah. And see you, George. Have a great day. And a big shout to George again.
Take care, George. Thanks for joining us. So the other two were, this is the second order I originally did. Strike Commando 2, The Devil's Game, the Mondo Jane Duo box, Hey Stop Stabbing Me, The Other Hell, which I've been waiting for ages.
Yeah.
The Masked Mutilator, Invaders of the Lost Gold, The Masturbating Gunman, The Fourth Victim, Franco Nor, The Forbidden Door, The Big Sleazy Jack Rice double feature, The Return of Captain Invincible, the 3-disc slipcover version, Blood Hunt, The Shadow of Mind, Libido, All About Eve, The Plug of Zombie Trilogy, I Miss You, Hugs and Kisses, Lady Libertine, Love Circles, The Halfway House, Makuma Sexual, Mansion of the Living Dead, The Jail Women's Hell, Frankie and His Pals, Sledgehammer, My Grandpa's a Vampire, Born to Fight, Cop Game, Double Target, The Dogs, Sex is Crazy, Free Between the Shades, because I've read that set.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to the last one. It's amazing when you read it, you think, shit, what did I do? Blood for Dracula, these are all 4Ks, these one. Blood for Dracula, Santa Sunray, Day of the Beast, Perdita Durango, The 5 Days, Mutante, that one, Ascension Mutante one, the Kidnapped Bride sticker, and then the Everything is Everything bundle. So that's all the stuff I bought. The Day of the Animal, I did look great. I had to get it with the slip because the slip really complements it.
Just one question. Oh. Where in the hell are you going to put all these movies back?
Well,
Do you have a TARDIS?
I wish I did because it'd be unlimited space, wouldn't it? I bought like 4 new bookcases, didn't I? I got 2 yesterday that came and I fit them, but I'm waiting for the bigger ones to come. I did buy the whole store. I actually did the same thing on Imprint and Indicator when they had their sales. So, it's a bit crazy. But luckily the wife supports it. She goes, okay. So, but you can guarantee it's because I support my wife a lot. So she's very She's very supportive of me, you know. But yeah, what else did I think? Because I did the Synapse one, didn't I? I got like four orders on there. What else? I Imprint and Vinegar Syndrome, and then I've got some others from other companies I'm waiting for. So I've probably got about 400 discs coming overall.
Yeah, at least, my God.
Yeah.
Said you're Elon's henchman. I don't think Elon could afford you.
Hey, if Elon Musk wanted me as henchman, I'd be saying, give me millions.
Elon Musk.
You know.
I got a feeling Elon Musk doesn't have enough money anymore to give people.
Hey, if he wanted to be, imagine that. This is the thing, guys, right? If I was a multi-millionaire, right, I would literally have a movie library that was a whole skyscraper. Right? I literally would. Because I've got such eclectic taste when it comes to different cinema that I constantly need to feed those spaces in it. So, I mean, I can buy stuff from Seven, I can buy stuff from Vinegar Syndrome, then I'll go all the way to Criterion and stuff like that, BFI, right? I buy lots in the BFI sales. I've got most of the 101 Films collection, So I do all that because I like having it. I like always having it to hand because I hate streaming. I've always been against streaming. I don't like it. Not because I think people that do it are imbeciles, like people say. Got nothing to do with that. I think if people want to stream, they should. I just hate when the connection's bad. I hate when I'm looking for a movie and it's not on there. And I begrudge paying money for something that doesn't have everything I want.
It's unreliable. Like, look at right now. Like, movies are getting censored. Like, music is taken out, scenes are taken out. And who wants that? Like, you want a movie, you want to get the whole movie.
Exactly. I want that on me. I want to have it. I want to be able to look at it. I don't want it taken away. My wife was watching Parenthood when we were in America, and she was on the 4th series, I believe, of 6, and they took it away. And I said, if you had the disc, that would have happened. And then, like you said, they're editing Disney being the
French Connection. It was among others.
And you can guarantee there's going to be more, but they do it so. I just don't agree with it. But I believe if someone's a casual viewer, and when I say casual viewer, I'm talking about, like people that don't collect and stuff like that. I believe they won't care about that. They won't care about that because to them it's a movie. They're watching a movie. They don't care about the details. They just want the movie on, And to me, I don't consider a casual person someone buys a few discs. I consider a casual person someone who has no interest in things, but they just put Netflix on,
Exactly.
And stuff
like someone
like
that's
that.
just kind of like watching it the same way. Like, people always say, well, Netflix and all that, like, it's taken away from it's taken away from people buying. No, it's not. It's taken away from cable. That's the big thing. It's
I agree.
Cable.
Yeah.
Like,
it's for the people.
Discs.
It's for the people who want to sit in front of the TV. This is why when you put Netflix on, right, it'll automatically goes to the next episode or another film because it's there for the people that used to go home, just sit there, put the TV on. They don't really care about what they're watching, really. They just want to chill out to something. So they won't notice certain things missing unless it's their favourite film, If I put Enter the Ninja on and I had it on Netflix, I could notice immediately the differences in the movie. Right? But the average person wouldn't because they're not paying attention to it. They don't remember the cues. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, go on.
No, I was just going to say, like, I picked up, my better half picked up for me when we were in St. John's, the Return of the Living Dead from, I think it was Second Sight that put it out.
Yeah.
And it had all the great music. So people like watching it on TV, like, and the music's changed. Even if you buy the Scream Factory edition, the music's changed.
Yeah.
On a few of the songs. So they're not going to notice, they're not going to care.
Yeah.
But somebody like me that watched this initially when it came in the theater, just a big fan, and cares.
Yeah. Like Beverly Hills 90210. Most of the scenes in that series are ruined now. Because the music's gone. So it's just instrumental, like do 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 do. When it would have been 90s classic songs that meant a lot to people of that generation. This is one of the reasons why torrenting's so big, because people want to torrent original versions of stuff because they cut it out. if you watch EastEnders, for example, when George Knight was trying to contact Rose Knight recently, I won't spoil who that is because some people might not have seen that, right? It played Sill's song "Kissed by a Rose," right? When you watch the EastEnders YouTube page, they took that song off because of copyright. Completely kills the song, you know. And this is the problem with not having things. I have over 26 hard drives, right, full of media of stuff that you cannot get on disc or that. And is it terrible quality? Yeah, but if that's the only way to watch it, that's how I watch it.
Yes.
Because not all movies are on Netflix or Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I agree. We've got
Often-
memories. Sorry, go on, Aaron.
No. We're probably going to say the same thing anyway. So go ahead.
I was going to say, what you got to remember is when you put stuff on, when stuff goes on YouTube, it's always compressed.
100%.
You know,
Like, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, you get compression. You got to worry about compression. You got to worry about streaming. You got to worry about like sound quality. I'm a big audiophile too. Like, as much I love like the physical medium, but I like sound. And like people, I often get asked like, well, there's not a huge difference between like Blu-ray and 4K, is there? Like, there's like, well, one, like you got to have like a certain size TV, and
yeah,
it's well,
mic
HDR,
system, mic sound, you know, surround
but the
sound, all
sound,
this stuff.
like Dolby Atmos, stuff like that. Like, yeah, like that's when it comes into like, okay, this, it sounds like a theater experience, and that I love, absolutely adore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't really get that on things.
Not a lot of Godfrey on Netflix. Not
Exactly, but
Yeah.
you can get a lot of those type films on Amazon.
Yeah. And
But
not
I
a lot
will
of-
say this. I will say this though. You can get those type of films on there, not exactly those type of films. So you can get them on there, but they're always the roughest prints. They look worse than the DVDs. You know, I remember back in the day when Netflix first came to England, right? This was a long time ago. The Netflix streaming. They had Bruce Lee versus the Ninja on it, right? This
wow.
was the Tyson DVD version because they had the cover, you know, on the thing. So I remember pointing out, going, wow, Netflix is going to have these movies that I've never been able to see online, right? Wow, these are American releases in England, right? On the thing. You can guarantee within 2 years it went to the draw of everything like, Supernatural, you know, Crank. Now, all these stuff are good. This stuff is good. It's not bad. It isn't bad by any means. What's bad about it is if I say to somebody, you seen Supernatural? They go, yeah, I know Supernatural. So it's not unique, is it? It's not unique to the brand of what they've got on there, right?
Well, when I first started watching like Netflix, me and my cousin were sitting down one day. Sinful Nuns of Saint, I kid you not, Sinful Nuns of Saint Valentine's
Yeah.
was on Netflix.
That's
You're
what I
never
mean.
going to find that
No.
on Netflix anymore.
Not now.
They used to have such an eclectic mix. I mean, they had such great. There's huge anime section. There was
Yeah.
like a lot of different horror. There was the day that I had it like one of those 7-day trial subscription. You got the PS3, right?
Yeah.
So then I got it, and I'm like, they had all the Stephen Canal shows like Silk Stockings and Hunter and all that. I was so excited. I was going to sit down, going to like over the next couple of weeks, going to watch all of them over again. The day that I got it, all the Stephen J. Canal stuff got pulled off Netflix. Every single show.
Stupid. You know, I think the problem is with these companies, it's even worse now because we got to remember is when Netflix was the big kahuna and there was no one else, around, they had the monopoly, right?
Yeah.
But now what happens is all these other companies like CBS, Paramount, Universal, and all these other ones that, hell, we probably don't even know of because they're out there, in different countries, different places. They're taking their own stuff back. And what they're not doing is they're not putting the older stuff on that we can't see anymore. So, for
They're putting
instance,
like the most mainstream vanilla titles that you can imagine. Like,
So, for
Sean just
instance-
mentioned here, like Tubi's been a godsend, though. They have a lot of the obscure films. I agree. The only thing that I will say, which is a shame, is that you never. It's Tubi is like the early days of collecting DVD,
Yeah.
and that when you turn on the movie, you're not quite sure what the quality's going to be, or if it's going to be cut or not cut. Like I as far as like the documentaries and some of the horror stuff like that, I love the fact that they do that.
Yeah.
But it is very much the days of the early BCI, early Mill Creek days of like, okay, there's movies, but what's the quality?
The problem with Tubi is, other than it not being, because it's only American, isn't it? Because I can't watch it over there.
Well, you
Could you
can't
watch it in Canada?
I
Yeah,
watched.
with the
It's
VPN.
American
Yeah,
and
I know
Canada.
that, but I mean, it's not international. As Pluto TV is.
Yeah, well, Tubi used to be in the UK, but they're trying to make their way back in. They lost in the UK.
Oh, okay. So my view of Tubi is this, right? Exactly what you said, but I'm going to add to it. Tubi is a great thing for being able to find some titles you might not be able to find. But they've started doing originals. They've started doing movie originals,
I was
right?
going to say actually.
Which means eventually they're going to get to a point where that changes, right? They'll start charging people, right? And that will eventually happen, because that's what happens with these places, right? Because they've got to make that money from somewhere. The other thing, right, with places like Tubi is they bring you in. There's another company, I can't remember what it was called. It was on my TV, and they had a whole lot of Severin titles on it. I think it was called like Midnight Pulp.
Yeah,
or something.
one of the Roku channel, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I subscribed to that, and I watched what's that film called? The one with the Irish one where it's The Devil is Born, or Where the Devil is Born. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Which is based on a true story. I watched that on there, and the quality of them wasn't too bad, but at the same time, it wasn't as good as disc.
No, like
because it's all about your internet now. No.
That's the thing. When you're watching a channel like that, watching Roku channel, like a lot of the Roku channels are basically done by people like you and me.
Yeah.
That go out and they get like a Plex account or something, and they put together.
Yeah.
And then they like put it on for free, or they put down for a small price and hope to make some money back on it, and switch things up every once in a while. Your quality you're never quite sure of, and a lot of them go down, and they don't come back up again. Tubi, I agree. Like Tubi is, the more Tubi goes into originals, and they have done some kind of cheesy fun originals. I did like Terror Train and Terror Train 2, and nobody else I don't think did, but that's okay. They were just like throwbacks to like the old 80s slasher stuff, but horrible, like special, like CGI blood.
Yeah.
But the more they do original titles, and I have like Jose was on here. Jose does some original titles. Yeah. It's been some interesting stuff because he did Headless Horseman, did some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is great for like indie or kind of like up and coming filmmakers.
Yeah.
But how long till they like find somebody, or like either they do really good, or do you want to go in like a bigger direction? Want to make it bigger, so then they get more mainstream, and then the restrictions on stuff you can and can't put on there, like when you get noticed, like you become more popular. Vinegar Syndrome, and they got to deal with Paramount. There's going to be Paramount movies coming on Vinegar Syndrome for the first time. It is fantastic. The adult titles have their own site. So for some people, like it takes away. They're like, that's the hard Vinegar Syndrome. Like they said, they got started.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be even better for the adult titles. But still, you're going to have people that are going to have that sense.
The thing is, with the adult titles, they weren't releasing a lot of them until recently anyway. I mean, they're releasing like 1 or 2 every now and again. So it's great, but they're going to be releasing 2 every month at least. So that's a positive. But the problem is, again, it's like when they lose the partner labels, people are going to forget about that site for a while, the new one afterwards. They're going to ask the same questions. Do I get the 50% off? Do I do this even though they say they have? And it just takes too much effort for some people to go between them to do this, and it's not hard, but it will be for people because, it's out of the norm when you get used to saying,
Like I think yesterday we talked about like DistroPix after the video was over. And we will be talking about that stuff. By the way, we'll be doing some.
Well, I will say this: we talked about the shipwrecks, and Aaron showed me a lot of Lena Remay.
Yeah.
And I've got to be honest, I bought the book.
Did you buy the book?
Yeah, I
Yes.
bought the book. So he sold me over on that, but yeah, go come on, sorry.
So you're gonna need bookshelves soon, man, because I could
Oh,
say some books.
yeah. But we're going to cover that, aren't we? We're going to
Oh
cover
yeah, we're
the.
gonna. That's on Patreon only, guys. So patreon.com/the Live Movie Club. We'll be covering it there over there because obviously, unfortunately, it's not stuff we can cover here because much like uh, Netflix has become more straightforward and homogenized, this here has become more straightforward and
Yeah,
homogenized. And I still worry that Patreon's going to get to a point where it's going to be hard to like to
it
do.
will do. You can already see
And
it. I
everybody,
was.
everybody and their dad's going to be on OnlyFans, and I mean that like not in the sexy way either.
I mean, I was reading up Patreon the other day, and there was a lot of content on it originally. My cousin used to follow a adult star, right?
Oh, really?
And she didn't do too much. She just basically did, like sexy pictures and stuff. And he said that she had to stop doing the Patreon because they were constantly going, "No, you can't be doing this here. You can't be doing that here." They were seeing what she was supposedly doing on the streams and stuff, and she's apparently gone over to like the actual sites, not OnlyFans, but like P Hub and that.
Okay,
So
so you're saying my like group watch of Pretty Peaches is probably not going to happen on Patreon.
I mean, it could do, but I think a lot. I think
The last Patreon video I do, right?
I think it's annoying for their censoring. The biggest problem in life, for the most part, when it comes to media or anything, is censoring.
If your partner labels that decide to branch away from OCN will quietly fade away. We'll see that. I don't think like Fancy Editions is going anywhere. I think at this point, Fancy Editions is the most popular partner label, and it's gone.
Quality wise, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, and it's lost. It's a loss. It's not a loss for Fun City Editions because I'm sure they will succeed. Whether they stick with MVD, they do a subscription, they'll do okay. I really think that they'll do okay. The guy behind it is a smart guy. But yeah, I do agree. Like it is going to be a little bit difficult, but at the end of the day, like allegedly, some of these companies have been put into positions where they feel that if they are going to survive anyway, they do have to move away. So that's the thing. It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
So if you want to make enough money to survive, and again, allegedly, they're not making enough money to reasonably keep going and put out the amount of titles that they need to put out to have the revenue back in to keep doing titles, back and forth type of thing.
I'll be honest. I personally think that eventually the partner labels. I mean, it's perfect for Umbrella because they're not in the country.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for them, I mean, technically they're in the country if you got their stuff, but you know what I mean. But I think it's perfect for them. It's perfect for people to get the knowledge of their label out there. Thousands of people go to Vinegar Syndrome every sale. There's at least 30,000 sales, and that's with combined orders as well, right? But go there and they see all these titles, right? They see these names. Most people would have looked up the sites for these companies after looking and going, "Oh, what are they going to release? What's this? What's that?" Now, you bring out quality products like Death Crocodile does with Sampo and Pied Piper, and the ones like that, as well as other stuff, right? You eventually will be able to have your own customers and make more money. Let's say Vinegar Syndrome takes 25%, all right? So let's say 25% of 25. Let's say, I don't know, I can't figure that out, mate. But let's say that's $8, right? Just out of curiosity, all right? They would keep that $8 on their site. That would go towards things. So now you think about it, if you sell 2,000 at $8, you're making a lot more money than you did before, right? So why wouldn't they separate? Why wouldn't they do that? Why would they not try and get a name and then move on? I know as a company, especially if you're a small company, that's the perfect exposure you need.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if in the next few months, 5, 6 more labels leave, because there's some there that have really built a fan base now. You
I
know,
expect it.
I
Like I
believe.
really do. Like I'll give you a real life example that situates with us. We are on YouTube. Once you
Yeah.
get to the point where you can actually monetize your videos, YouTube takes 30%.
Yeah.
So anytime like any stuff's given a donation or anything like that, super chat, super sticker, 30% is taken off of that right away, and we get the rest. But YouTube takes 30% of it, and then when your AdSense comes up, then they do that, and you actually have enough, then they take another percentage from that.
Yeah.
And you have to go through like a whole bunch of like tax papers in order to get them to stop them
Yeah.
from taking as much. And where I've moved to countries, I can't. So when I do mine, it's like I get it plus they take another, like if say it's $100, say I make $120, 29 they take 20. So and kind of that's the way that it goes. So like if you're a company and like then I branched out to Patreon because in order to keep my
Yeah.
channel going to survive.
Sure.
So take that like with the company. So the
Did
company
Patreon take a cut?
Oh, pardon?
Did
Oh,
Patreon take a cut?
a tiny cut, like nothing compared to like Be Here. And the thing
Like
is, like, dude,
3%
if
or something.
somebody donates, like, I have a donation button, like down below, like donation link. When somebody donates that, and it's like $50, that's $50. It doesn't go to Patreon, it goes directly to PayPal,
Okay.
directly into PayPal. When Patreon will take a certain cut, Google will take a certain cut. The only time when it goes directly to me is like I put the donation in there. That's why.
Yeah.
But 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 that's the thing. Companies, like when they're doing that, like start out when you're starting out. Yes, you want to go to an OCN because Vinegar Sound is just like one of the labels. OCN's a distributor. So you want to go to OCN to get your start, but just to get your start,
Yeah.
because eventually you want to hopefully grow enough that you feel you can not become so much competition with them, but like become your own thing. And like Sean is 1%. Like they definitely need a marketing strategy. That is my area of expertise.
And then are you?
But that is what I do. That's why when I look at companies like Severance, Sean, I'm like, it should be the top company, but it's not because their marketing strategy just isn't solid.
Well, talk about cuts. It's like eBay, right? Before I moved, I was selling on eBay hundreds of things because I had to move, right? Every single thing they took like 14%, right? eBay's not doing anything. They're just taking that money, right? So, it's great if you have a problem and they help you out, but you're like, look, all that money you lose from not being able to just, sell it, I think that's the problem with any business. I think the best business is when you get the money and you make as less, you lose as less as you can. I mean, over here, you can do listings on eBay and just pay a maximum of £1, on certain offer days. But in America, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, like now, like there's Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji, you can go a whole different route, ways to not to go for a middleman if
Well,
you
they used to make
area,
it,
right?
it used to be where you didn't think it, but now Facebook take a cut. If you do it through Facebook, they take a cut. So people obviously just contact each other and go, PayPal,
Yeah, friends and family.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, what'll happen is they'll figure that out and they'll make it we can't see each other's names.
They'll
You know, like
find a way.
like they used to on Craigslist back in the day, where you only had like a code of who you were when you were talking.
Yeah. Oh, like obviously, I get that, Sean. Like if you're worried about the company's not doing well, you obviously wish them the best. That definitely goes without saying from what you said. like you mentioned before, he worries about the TerraVision subscription service. But people like you've got the TerraVision subscription service.
Yes, I did that. I did the subscription. I believe in the company. I really do. Especially with the quality of the product and everything I've seen, the announcements they've done, the fact that they've got cassettes and they've got LP subscriptions as well. You know, they're prepared for the long run, I believe. Now, could they, you know, fall short and end up giving up? Yeah, of course. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen for at least a couple of years because they got what people forget with companies is it takes years to make the money. You know,
Oh yeah,
Vinegar Syndrome, when they started, they did not have the choices they had today. You
not
know,
by any stretch of the
exactly.
imagination.
You know, I mean, you look at their early titles, they're titles that most people would have forgotten. You know, so it would have been easy. Now they're starting to get big titles. Television's in the same position,
Yeah.
right? Except they've got a little bit of a chance. You know, exactly.
Brad is not just a guy that was with Taylor, like he was with Vinegar Syndrome. Like as Matt was mentioning, Brad was the guy that actually like did some of their, and I think he still does some special features for them. Was part of the acquisition team.
Yeah.
So it is different. Now, with that being said, guys, I am sweaty and hot.
I'm tired.
And oh god, yes, like he knows. Malcolm knows this. He knows my plans for after this video, which is pretty much lying underneath a fan and passing out. We will be back here. You'll be back here with me tomorrow.
Yep.
Excellent. So we'll be back here tomorrow for the $12 sale. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. I wanted to continue a bit of this discussion more because this is an interesting thing to talk about. And I think we've only scratched the surface.
Definitely.
So we'll put a pin in this.
Yes.
A sweaty pin. But again, guys, it's Malcolm. May, December. Make sure you're sub to his channel. I got to remember to put your channel link down there. Remind me of this type of stuff.
Sure.
Because I am the worst, like sweaty, like knowledgeable guy right now when it comes to.
I've got to remember to tell you about the cakes. I've got to mind to tell you about my thing.
Yeah.
You know.
There we go.
I'll be at this point. I'll be like your second wife here, telling you everything. Like, oh, you got to do this.
You got to. Don't forget this. I am Aaron. This is Malcolm, and we will see you right here tomorrow. Make sure to join us for day 3 of the Vinegar Syndrome sale. We'll be going on for the entirety of the sale. And Malcolm, we should be hopefully doing some. If you want to do some stuff to the lead up to the big website, so we can talk about stuff on Patreon that we can't talk about on here, and then I can use my big buy words. Okay, see everybody. Have a great day.
Take care, guys.